Hello everyone, this is Dr. Rajesh, working as Assistant Professor in JMN College Ambala Kent. Today I am with you with my new video lecture, and in this video lecture we will study the concept of array in C programming. We will study what do you mean by array and why array are used in C language, and how can we access and use the array in the programming, and what are the different type of array. Firstly, we shall see what is the definition of array. The array definition is given by: an array is the collection of objects of same data type that are referred through common name. For an example, we have the population data, and we are working at the population of say 6 places. So we can define through that by variables x, y, z, u, v, w. It is easy. But if we say that earlier we were working at the population of 6 places, if I say that if we are working at the population of 600 places, then how can you define 600 different variables? So in that case, population will always be integer data type. Okay, so now look at the definition: collection of objects of same data type. Okay, so here the data type will be int. Okay, and 600 places will be objects of the same data type, and we will collect them. So now in that case, what we will do, we will be defining a, and here we will write 600. So that will solve the problem. Now with that, we have declared 600 variables starting from a0 to a1 to a. Otherwise it would have been really very difficult to define 600, almost impossible to define 600 variable. Like what we will be doing, x, y, z, all the variables, and there we have to write the 600 variables and then have to access them in the programming. It is a cumbersome job. Not easy to do. So therefore, for that particular purpose, we take the help of the array, and array comes for rescue of us. That array is the collection of objects of same data type that are referred through common name. Here common name is a, okay, and data type is int. So we will see what is the general rule of declaring the array variables. The general rule is given by this. So this is the type of data. Like if we declare a array of integer data type, so data type is integer, name of the variable say it is a, and within the square bracket size say it is 10. Okay, and here are the semicolons. This is the general. If we declare of float, we can declare here as float, and if we want to name like Rajesh, it is the array having name Rajesh, and it is data type is float. And the same, this is array a having data type int. Now next is we should learn how to access the elements of the array. We have declared the array here. So how that array is allocated memory and how its elements are accessed, that we will see. Like once the array variables are declared, like we declare for this example int a 9. So this is the array having name a and its size is 9. So it is allocated contiguous memory location, adjacent memory locations to each other. Like this is memory location for element a0, this is memory location for A1 and so on. The last is memory location for A8. It was having size A9, so its first element will be A0, its next element will be A1, and the last element, upper bound element, will be 9 minus 1. So from 0 to 8 we have 9 elements. So first element we must take care of it. The first element of array starts with A0 and it ends with the size 9. 9 minus 1, 8. So A8 is the last element. So that is how this is the memory location for A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. So adjacent memory locations are provided by the compiler to array elements. Memory locations. Okay, and this memory location can now store any integer data type, like A note here has stored the value 7, A1 11, 6. It can store the value, and this type array works, and the first element of the array is A0 and last is A8. Like here we have declared the variable. If I declare the array variable int say Raj, and it is 50, so this has array size 50 and its first element is Raj 0, its next element is Raj 1, and so on. Its last element is Raj 4, 9. So it has 50 elements starting with 0 and ending with this 50 minus 1 is 49. So that we must take care of it, and that is how the array elements are accessed, and that are array elements are there, like first is 0, 1 and last is 9 minus 1, 8. So and in array you must take care that adjacent memory locations are provided in the array, like these are the adjacent memory locations, and any value now can store in these memory locations. And if someone asks that what is the size of the memory that is allocated to that array that we have defined, like here we have defined array of size 9. So what is the memory allocated by the compiler to this array? So the memory located will be allocated is equal to size of the data type multiplied by size of array. Size of data type is 2 byte long is int, multiplied by 9 is equal to 18 bytes memory is allocated by the compiler for this particular array, and for every element it is 2 byte long memory, 2 byte for every element, like for A0, A1, A8. For this it is 2, for this it is 2 byte, and for this is also 2 byte, and in total 18 bytes are allocated by the compiler for this array. So this is the how memory allocation calculation is done. This could be asked sometime in the examination. Then you will write how to declare the general array. This is the general rule to declare. Then you will give the examples. Then you will show that how its elements are there, like starting with 0, 1 and one element less A8. Then you will say that it has the adjacent memory location allocated by the compiler. This is the advantage of the array, and that memory location could store the values, like any values. So Then also you will give the definition what is array and why we use it, because it becomes very cumbersome to use so many 600, like we work upon array size of 600. So you cannot declare the 600 different variables, and if once you declare and you cannot use in the programming, it really becomes very cumbersome job to use it in the programming and access those elements, to remember those elements. So that array is help for us. With the help of using array, we can also use this in the iterative loops also. Therefore we have also learned how to access the elements of array. Accessing is through a0, a1 and up to a8. Whatever element you want to access, you could access it. Okay, so next we will see that there are different types of arrays: one dimensional array, two dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. That we will see the types of array. Look at here, one dimensional array. We have studied two dimensional array. How to declare the two dimensional array? Like it will be, the rule will be same: int ab. Now we have two dimension, 1 2. Okay, and here we can have say 3, here we can have 4. So this is two dimensional array. First dimension has size 3, second dimension has size 4. So if we want to access the element of this array, it will be 0, corresponding to 0 it will be 0 0 1 0 2 0 3, up to 1 less, up to 1 less, 3 only, starting with 0. This is also, second is also starting with 0. Second row will be accessed through a1 0 a1 1 a1 2 a1 3, and the third row a0 a2 a1 a2 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 a3. So the first index corresponding to row and second index correspond to column. So this array length will give the first dimensional array length will give the row length. Row length is 1 2 and 3. It has 3 rows, 4 columns, 1 2 3 and 4 column, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 rows. So this gives the rows and this gives the column. So column row length is 3, column length is 4. So this has in total 3 into 4 elements is equal to 12. This has 12 elements and it is a two dimension because it has rows and columns. And if we what is the memory allocated? Memory allocated, if we want, size of the data type is int. Int is 2 byte long. First dimension size is 3, second dimension size is 4. So it will be 24 bytes will be allocated by the compiler for this particular type of array. Similarly, we can define the multi-dimensional array. In this, it will be type of data and the variable name. First will be size 1, second dimension size 2, and so on, size n. So this is n dimensional array. First dimension is having size 1. Like I define, if I define int a, first size is say 2, 3, 4 and 2. Say we stop here, this is the last n. In this case it is size 1, size 2, size 3, size 4. So this is 4-dimensional array, and the first dimension is 2, second dimension is 3, third is 4, and fourth dimension is 2 long. Okay, so if we want to access the first element will be 0, this 0, this 0 and this 0. How many element it will be having? First dimension as having 2, second 3, 4, 2. So this will be equal to 48 elements. So this 4-dimensional array will be having 48 elements, and the memory allocated is equal to the memory size of int data type is 2, and first dimension is how much long? It's 2. It is having 2 length, 0 and 1. It is 3, it is 4, it is 2. So this will be equal to 96 bytes. So that is how the memory allocation is done in case of multi-dimensional array. So, and we have also discussed one-dimensional array, how to access the elements of one-dimensional array, what is two-dimensional array, how to generally declare the two-dimensional array, and what type of element it has, and how its elements are accessed. What is multi-dimensional array? Through an example of four-dimensional array, we also seen that what is multi-dimensional array and how memory is allocated to it. So in this lecture we have studied this one. In the next lecture, soon tomorrow, I will be uploading it. In that we will be discussing what is array initialization, and we also see the one-dimensional array how are used into programming, also two-dimensional array in the programming, how we use them and how to access the elements. So that will how we scan the array elements, we will see in the next video lecture, and soon tomorrow I will be uploading it. So this is all I have from this lecture. Thanks for watching. This is Dr. Rajesh saying you goodbye. Thank you.